Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. Last week we talked about feeling, right? So in this chapter, so we will analyze. So 89 cittas will be analyzed based on six, right? Six categories. So the first one is the feeling. Second one is the roots. In Bali, it is called Hetu. Roots, right? Page number 119. Page number 119, right? 119. So here, Hetu means the root or the cause. So actually, the word Hetu we find in the Pali Canon very often, right? Pobhegata Hetu. Actually, Pobhegata Hetu. Because of the cause in previous life, right? And in the Patthana, in Abhidhamma, so one section is called Hetu, right? Hetu pachayo, aramana pachayo, Hetu. So here, Hetu means the root or the cause. So it is similar to mula. In the first chapter, we learned that lobha mula citta, right? Lobha mula citta, dosa mula citta. So actually, Hetu and mula are the same. So they are synonym, the root or the cause. So we have 6 rules according to not only Abhidhamma but also in Sutta Pitaka as well. Sutta Pitaka we also have 6 rules. The Buddha also mentioned. Number 1 is a greed, lobha. 2, hatred, dosa, and delusion, moha. So they are the root of all unwholesome deeds. So wherever unwholesome actions you do, so that will be based on 3 roots, right? Lobha, dosa, moha. So therefore, in the first chapter, so we have 8 type of consciousness rooted in greed, right? 2 type of consciousness rooted in hatred, and 2 type of consciousness rooted in delusions. Because all the unwholesome deeds based on 3 roots. And we have a non-greed, lobha, and we have a non-hatred, adosa, we have a non-delusion, moha. Actually, we have learned all these one. Lobha, dosa, moha, right? You already know it. But regarding with the non-greed, if you do not have attachment, so that will be non-greed, right? So you renunciation, right? You let go. So that will be non-greed, right? Regarding with the non-hatred, you don't have any hatred, any anger, any irritation at all. So that will be non-hatred. So the opposite is compassion, loving kindness, sympathy, sympathetic joy, right? So all these can be called non-hatred. Non-delusion, it is nothing but wisdom or knowledge, right? If you are mindful, if you know what is happening, So that at that moment you have a non-delusion, right? If you are not mindful, if you do not know what is happening right now, so that will be delusion in your mind. In other words, we call it ignorance, right? Avijja or ignorance. So these are non-delusion. In other words, we can call it wisdom, right? Wisdom. So these are the root of all wholesome deeds. So wherever wholesome deed you do, so that will be based on non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion. So you do wholesome deed without knowledge or without knowing thoroughly. So that will be you do wholesome deed, non-greed or non-hatred without non-delusion, right? But you do good deed, you know what you are doing, right? You know with the wisdom or knowledge, so that will be all. Non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion, right? So these three are the root of all wholesome deeds, kusala mula, and indeterminate. In Bali, abhyagata. Abhyagata means neither you can call wholesome nor unwholesome. It is not wholesome or unwholesome. In other words, it is resultant citta and functional citta, right? So the citta that you cannot call wholesome or unwholesome, so all these are called abhyagata or indeterminate. So indeterminate are nothing but the resident and functional cittas, right? Functional cittas. So that means non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusions. All these will be the root of wholesome deed or indeterminate actions, right? So we have a 6 root. So 3 is unwholesome, another 3 is wholesome, as well as indeterminate, right? Indeterminate. Any question? So all the 89 cittas will be analyzed based on these 8 roots, right? Based on these 8 roots. So 80 cittas without root, so they are called ahetuka. Among 89 cittas, 80 rootless cittas are called without root, right? Without root, ahetuka. So actually you have learned all these one, right? We have 80 rootless cittas in the first chapter, right? So they are called ahetuka because they don't have any roots, right? So they are called rootless because the moment these citta arise, so there is neither unwholesome roots nor wholesome roots. So that means the moment 80 type of rootless cittas arises, we cannot call wholesome or unwholesome, right? So at that moment there is no root, wholesome or unwholesome, right? So therefore, so these 80 cittas are called ahetuka, rootless. Actually later, when we learn 80 rootless cittas, I have explained, right? So when we learn mind process, I will explain again, right? I will explain again. $80 rootless cittas are counted according to sequence of mind process. Mind process, cognitive process is called viti, right? The next chapter we have to learn viti. So I think we have been learning mind process very often. I think it's not new for you, right? It's not new for you. So number 1, 5 sense door adverting consciousness. So we have only 5 sense door adverting consciousness. So as you know, when mind process going to happen, so as you know that we have a group of bhavanga, right? Life-continuum. So when active mind process going to happen, so that bhavanga vibrate, right? Vibrate and it stop vibration of bhavanga and stop rest bhavanga, right? Rest bhavanga. Then after that, 5 sense door adverting consciousness arises. Then after 5 sense door adverting consciousness, then you will see, you will hear eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, and body consciousness, right? So these are called the 2 subtle 5-fold consciousness. 2 subtle 5-fold consciousness. So that means, so eye consciousness, we have 2 type of eye consciousness. So when you see unpleasant things, right? So such type of eye consciousness is result of unwholesome deed. So when you experience, when you see pleasant things, so such type of eye consciousness is result of wholesome consciousness, right? So therefore, we have 2 type of eye consciousness and 2 type of ear consciousness, 2 type of nose consciousness, 2 type of tongue consciousness, and 2 type of body consciousness. So altogether, we have 10, right? We have 10. So therefore, these 10 are called 2 subtle 5-fold consciousness, right? In Pali, Dvipancha Vijnana. So it goes the sequence of mind process, right? Now after bhavanga, the bhavanga stop. Then after that, 5 sense door adverting consciousness will come. Then after that, eye consciousness or ear consciousness, nose consciousness, taste consciousness, and body consciousness, right? Then after that, you will receive it. So that is called receiving consciousness. So we have 2 type of receiving consciousness. One because of unwholesome deed, another one because of wholesome deed, right? Then after that, you will investigate. So we have 3 type of investigating consciousness. One investigating consciousness is because of unwholesome deed, right? So when you investigate something you see, something you hear, unpleasant things, right? So that will be unwholesome resident investigating consciousness, right? So regarding with the wholesome one, we have 2 investigating consciousness, right? So if the object is very pleasant, right? And if the object is extremely pleasant to see, right? So therefore, we have 2 type of investigating consciousness because of good deed, right? One type of investigating consciousness because of unwholesome deed. So altogether 3. Then after investigating consciousness, what will you do? You determine, right? So we have only one determination consciousness. So actually that is nothing but mind adverting consciousness. So if we talk about mind process, manodwara, so that will be mind adverting consciousness, right? Then after determination consciousness, we experience, right? We experience the object. So that is called javana. So among the 80 citttas, 80 rootless citttas, there is only one javana. That is mind producing consciousness, right? Mind producing consciousness. There is only one javana. That is mind producing consciousness. So actually altogether 80 citttas without root. So in the first chapter we call it ahetuka citta, right? 80 rootless cittas. Because the moment they arise, the moment these consciousness arises, we cannot call it, there is no lobha, dosa, moha. There is no alobha, adosa, amoha. Only determination. So if your determination consciousness is not good, then unwholesome consciousness will come, right? Then if your determination is good, then wholesome javana, right? Wholesome javana. So therefore, based on determination consciousness, so there will be wholesome or unwholesome root, right? Wholesome or unwholesome root. So these 80 type of cittas are called ahetuka, cittas without root, right? Citta without root. So apart from 80 rootless cittas, all the remaining cittas, all the remaining 71 cittas are called with the root or sahetuka. So I think that if you read the book after my lesson, it will be very clear, right? It will be very clear. If you are not clear, then you just question, right? That's very important. So the remaining 71 cittas are called sahetuka with the root. So they are so called because the moment they arise, one root or two root or three roots will be present in our mind, right? So they are called sahetuka or with the root because the moment these citta, 71 citta arise in our mind, it will be because of one root or because of two root or because of three roots, right? So therefore they are called sahetuka with the root. Then just look at two cittas with the one root. Two cittas with the one root. Among the 71 cittas with the root, two type of consciousness rooted in delusion. Two type of consciousness rooted in delusion. It's called moha mula citta. Are called cittas with the one root. Eka hetuka. The moment two cittas rooted in delusion arise in our mind, there's only one root. That is because of delusion, right? Because of moha. I think that we learn two types of consciousness rooted in delusion. One is rootlessness, right? Rootlessness. Suppose we are learning the Dhamma. If you are thinking other things, your mind is rootless, right? So by that time, you will not know what I'm teaching, right? Because of delusion, right? So by that time, you don't have any hatred or you don't have any greed at the time, right? At the time, you don't have non-hatred or non-greed or non-delusion. There's only one root at the time. That is the delusion or ignorance in your mind. But your mind is rootless. Another one is a doubt, right? So if you have a doubt in our mind, you don't have a greed or you don't have a hatred. You don't have a good, good mental state, right? Good mental state. There's only one delusion or ignorance in your mind, right? So therefore, the moment rootlessness, the moment you have a rootlessness, or the moment you have doubt in your mind, that occurs because of one root, right? There's no other root. That is delusion or ignorance, right? Ignorance. Understand? Okay. Then I will give you a very simple example. You went to shopping mall and you're choosing, right? One trousers, right? You want to buy a trousers. You're choosing whether actually you like 3 or 4 trousers. You do not know what to choose. By that time, suppose you have a doubt, right, in your mind. You cannot decide. You have a doubt in your mind. So by that time, you don't have any greed to the trousers, right? You have only doubt in your mind. Actually, just example. Actually, the doubt is we are not talking about choosing those trousers. Here, doubt me. We have a doubt about triple gems, right? You have a doubt about the teachings and the Buddha and Sangha, right? Suppose you're reading the book. You cannot appreciate the book. You do not understand, right? So that means you have a ignorance. You don't have a wisdom regarding with that teaching, right? So by that time, you have a state of mind accompanied by doubt, right? So by that time, you don't have a greed or hatred. You don't have a no greed, no hatred, no delusion. There's only one root. That is delusion, right? That's delusion. So therefore, in your mind, if the state of mind associated with doubt and restless, so at that time there's only one root. So that is delusion, right? That is delusion. So therefore, 2 types of consciousness, rooted in greed, are called cittas with the one root, ahetuka, right? So sorry, ahetuka. So when these cittas arise, only one root, delusion, is present in our mind, right? Okay? 22 cittas with the 2 roots. 22 cittas with the 2 roots. Number 1, 8 types of consciousness rooted in greed. So when these 8 types of consciousness rooted in greed arise in our mind, there's only 2 roots. There is 2 roots because of greed or because of delusion. So when you have a greed in your mind or attachment in your mind, that is because of delusion as well as greed, right? So therefore, these 8 types of consciousness are called cittas with the 2 root, right? Hetuka. In Bali is a Hetuka. So wherever you have attachment, wherever you have a greed in your mind, that because of delusion, then after that, greed. So therefore, the Buddha said that delusion or ignorance is the forerunner of everything, right? So therefore, when you are greedy, that means you do not know the nature of your greed and a bad result, unwholesome result of the greed, right? So that is delusion. Then number 2, 2 types of consciousness rooted in hatred. So these 2 cittas are caused because of 2 roots, hatred and delusion. It's quite clear that, right? If you have a wisdom, you are not angry, right? If you are mindful, you are not angry. So you are angry because your mind is deluded. So actually delusion started, then after that, hatred, anger, irritation follows, right? So therefore, here, when you are angry, not only anger, but also delusion. So 2 root, right? And then, if you look at number 2, it's quite clear. our mind is deluded, we do not know what to do, we do not know what is right and what is wrong. So therefore, we have a hatred, we have a anger, right? So therefore, two types of consciousness, rooted in greed. So these cittas arises because of two roots, hatred and delusion. Okay? Another one, 12 sincere, beautiful cittas, dissociated from knowledge. Dissociated from knowledge. So these 12 cittas also arise because of two roots. Non-greed, non-hatred, right? Non-greed, non-hatred. So as you know, we have a 24 beautiful, sincere, beautiful cittas, right? 24 sincere, beautiful cittas. Page number 29. Look at the page number 29. Sorry, 28. Look at the page number 28. Right? Then we have a 12 adosa cittas, 80 rootless cittas, sincere, 24 sincere, beautiful cittas, right? So when you do not know 89 cittas, go back to 28, right? So whenever you have a doubt about 89, go back to page number 28. But if you know it very well, you don't need to go back. Right? So actually, 89 cittas are very important. Without knowing them, very difficult. And following chapter also, without knowing 89 cittas, you will be, you will know difficulty. So therefore, page number 28, and we have a 24 sincere, beautiful citta, right? Among the 24, 12 cittas, 12 sincere, beautiful cittas, dissociated from knowledge. But here, dissociated from knowledge means without non-delusion, right? Without amoha, without wisdom, right? For these 12 cittas, we don't have non-delusion. So therefore, only two root, right? So when we are doing good things, so that means the root will be good root, right? Good cause. That is non-greed, non-hatred. Well, when you are practicing loving kindness, right? When you are practicing compassion, without knowing its result, you just have a compassion and loving kindness, right? So at that moment, if you do not have a knowledge or wisdom, but you still do good things, right? By that time, because of non-greed or non-hatred. Sometimes you do dana, right? Dana means you give away, right? You detach your belongings. Non-greed, because of non-greed, right? You renounce your belongings, so your possessions. That is because of non-greed. But without knowledge or without wisdom, you do dana. So in those times, there may be one of the 12 sincere, beautiful citta, dissociated from knowledge, right? Sometimes you practice compassion, loving kindness without knowing, right? Without wisdom. That is because of non-hatred, right? Non-hatred. So therefore, when you don't have a knowledge or wisdom, the moment you do good deed, so that is only two root, right? Non-greed and non-hatred. So therefore, 12 sincere, beautiful cittas, dissociated from knowledge, are called cittas with the two root, right? Cittas with the two root, but different root, right? Here is because of good root. So previous one, a bad one, right? Unwholesome root. So we have to differentiate in this way. So here, we have a 22 cittas with the 2 root, 8 type of consciousness rooted in greed. So because of 2 root, greed and delusion. And 2 type of consciousness rooted in hatred arises in our mind because of 2 root, hatred and delusion. If we are doing good things without knowledge, without wisdom, then because of 2 root, either non-greed or non-hatred, right? Non-hatred. Here we have to remember that, so when you practice loving kindness, that means because of non-hatred, right? So these two cannot arise together. The reason is wholesome deed can arise. Wholesome deed without knowledge can arise because of non-greed and non-hatred, right? Understand? Okay. So these are 22 cittas with the 2 root. So actually we have 80 rootless cittas, and we have 2 type of consciousness rooted in delusion. That is a citta with the 1 root, right? And we have 22 citta with the 2 root. So altogether, how many? 80, 22, 30, right? Then 2 moha mula citta, 32, right? So we have only 47 left. 47 cittas with the 3 root, right? 12 sincere, beautiful cittas associated with the knowledge, non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. As you know, we have counted 12 sincere, beautiful cittas dissociated from knowledge. But here, this 12 is associated with the knowledge. When you do good things, accompanied by knowledge or wisdom, so that is because of non-greed, non-hatred, or non-delusion, right? But here we have to take note, associated with the knowledge. So therefore, non-delusion. So non-delusion is nothing but wisdom, right? Wisdom. Sincere, beautiful cittas. It is from 24, right? 24 sincere, beautiful cittas. Then 35 sublime and supramundane cittas. So these 35 are because of non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusions, right? So therefore, these 47 cittas are with it's called ahetuka. The 3 rules. So I think next chapter also we have to come back this one, right? Then I think you have to digest this one. Otherwise, so we have to study again, right? We will use it ahetuka. If someone was born with the knowledge and with the wisdom, so that is called ahetuka, right? Some people were born without knowledge or without wisdom. That is called dvihetuka. As a human being, some people were born as a human being. So actually they don't have they are not intelligent. They do not know, right? When somebody is talking and without wisdom. So they were born because of non-greed or non-hatred, not because of non-delusion, right? So therefore, it is very important for us to have a rebirth consciousness with the ahetuka 3 root, right? Especially non-delusion. So these 47 cittas are called cittas with the 3 root. So when we look at number 2, 35, we have a 27 sublime cittas, right? 27 sublime cittas are jhana cittas, right? The moment you are taking jhana, you are meditating. That means together with knowledge or wisdom, right? So therefore, 3 root. And subramanic citta also, right? Without knowledge, without wisdom, you cannot attain subramanic cittas, right? So therefore, 47 cittas are with the 3 root. Especially, we have to take note non-delusion, right? So together, 87. So actually, we have analyzed 87 cittas with the 3 root, 8 roots. 6 roots, right? 6 roots. Any question? Okay. Microphone. We have a microphone. Can you use? Good.
Bhante, I want to ask the previous slide because they say 12 consciousness, right, rooted with non-greed and non-hatred, but is this associated with wisdom? So then this is considered 2 roots, but actually without wisdom it can be called delusion, so it can be 3 root also, right?
Without?
The 12 consciousness, non-greed and non-hatred.
Okay.
Without this associated with wisdom, but is under the 2 root. But actually, this associated with wisdom, can I say, is also delusion, so it can be considered 3 root?
Very good question. Actually, of course, it's talking about dissociated from knowledge, right? So actually, you are talking about if we do not have a knowledge or wisdom, that means delusion, right? That means delusion. So actually, according to, I will say that according to Abhidhamma, right? Abhidhamma explanation. Actually, we also point out this one. So when we are learning in the first chapter, so sometimes we practice compassion, right? So when we see somebody, right? When somebody is in trouble, then we have a compassion in our heart, right? Without knowing me, you do not know whether it is good or whether it is right or wrong to help them, right? Right or wrong to help them. You have a compassion in your mind, but you do not think or you do not have a wisdom in your mind. Because of compassion, you help them, right? You help them. Then in those situations, we can call dissociated from knowledge. So regarding with this, I will give a good example. In Singapore, feeding the bird or animal, right? It is a subject to fine, right? If you feed, if you feed the bird, you'll be fine, right? Then you saw a hungry bird, then you have a compassion in your heart. You do not think about that rules and regulations. Then you feed the bird, right? Then the policeman saw you and fine. How many? 500. Maybe we can call it dissociated from knowledge, right? It's not. Of course, technically we can call it. If we are not mindful, we can call it delusion, right? We can call it delusion. But according to Abhidhamma model, we have a such situation, right? We have a compassion in your heart. Compassion means non-hatred. Then without knowing, without mindfulness about the rules, Singapore rules and regulations, right? So I think you feed the bird and you are fine. So I think in that situation we can call it dissociated from knowledge, right? According to Abhidhamma, it is not a delusion. Maybe we can call it one, we discussed in the first chapter as well, right? Okay, then any question? we finish this session, second session. Okay, so then we go to the chart. Actually, it's not difficult that we have learned. Page number 121. Page number 121. Here you can see the root: greed, hate, delusion, non-greed, non-hate, non-delusion. So we have 8 greed-rooted cittas. So we have 2 root, right? Greed and delusion. The first one. I didn't just go there and you can see the 8 greed-rooted citta, right? Then greed and delusion, right? Greed and delusion. And we have 2 hatred-rooted citta and hate and delusion. 2 root, right? 2 root. And we have 2 delusion-rooted citta. There is only 1 root here, delusion, right? Delusion. And we have 80 rootless cittas. There is no root, right? No root. So that means the moment you have all these cittas in your mind, there's no lobha, adosa, moha. There's no non-greed, no hatred, non-delusion as well, right? So therefore, no root. And we have a sincere, beautiful cittas without knowledge. Tre, right? Tre, sincere, beautiful citta without knowledge. We have with the knowledge. And we have 3 root. Non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion. And we have a tre, sincere, beautiful citta without knowledge. Without knowledge, then we have only 2 root. Non-greed, non-hatred. The rest, we have 27 sublime citta, we have 8 supramundane citta, they have 3 root, right? Page number 121. If you look at that chart, I know easier, right? Easier. Any question? Then no question, let's go. I think it's clear, right? So please try to remember all these one. So when we go next chapter, we have to learn again, right? Okay. Next one is functions. In Bali, it's called Kicca. Kicca means function. So in this session, 89 cittas will be analyzed by way of their respective functions. So there are 40 functions of the mind. So I think it's very good sessions to know. So we have 40 functions of the mind. The first one, Rebirth-linking function. And later I will explain in detail. Number 2, Life-continuum function. Number 3, Abhidhamma function. Number 4, seeing function. Then hearing function, smelling function, tasting function, touching function. So number 4 to number 8, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, all these 5 are called fivefold sense continuance, consciousness. Fivefold sense consciousness. So when you see unpleasant things, that is because of unwholesome deed. When you see pleasant things, that is because of wholesome deed. So therefore, we have 2, right? 2 type of eye consciousness and 2 type of ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, and body consciousness. So these terms are called 2 sets of fivefold consciousness. Dvipancha Vijnana, right? The reason I point out this one is very important. Two set of 5-4 consciousness, and also you can add another sense. 2 set of 5-4 sense consciousness, right? Another one is a receiving. After seeing, after hearing, you will receive it, right? So therefore, these 40 functions are arranged according to sequence of mind process, right? According to sequence of mind process. After seeing, you have to receive it, right? After hearing, receiving. And receiving function. Number 10, investigating function. Then after receiving, you will investigate. Then after that, you will determine. Determinating function. 12, experiencing with the force, or experiencing the object with the force. So actually, Bhikkhu Bodhi do not translate the word javana. He left it as a javana, right? But this one was a little bit controversial translation. Experiencing with the force, javana. Then retentive. So Bhikkhu Bodhi translate use as a registration, right? Registrations. Sayadaw Usilananda, he liked retentive, right? Also Rupakatin, Abhidhamma expert from England, and he also liked this one, retentive. So from now on, we'll change the word retentive. And death. The last one is death, right? The last one is death. I think you can look at page number 155. Page number 155. Mind process, right? So when I'm talking mind process, then look at the page number 155. And you will see complete indoor process, right? Complete indoor process. Then I think that when we go to next chapter, we don't need to talk about mind process, right? Because we have learned many times. So this one also we need to know mind process. So look at the 155. Then stream of bhavanga, past bhavanga, vibrational bhavanga, and arrest bhavanga. Then bhavanga stop, right? Arrest bhavanga stop. Then after that, fight door adverting. Unconsciousness, receiving consciousness, investigating, determining, javana, registration or retentive, right? So if you look at this one, it's quite clear, not very difficult. Then, so these 40 functions are arranged according to sequence of mind process, right? So when we look at this one, not very difficult at all, right? Not very difficult at all. So we have 40 functions of the mind. So these 40 functions of the mind are arranged according to mind process, happen in one lifetime. Happen in one lifetime, right? That's very important. Only in one lifetime. One life begins with the rebirth-linking consciousness, and followed by life-continuum, bhavanga. Then firstly, we began with the rebirth-linking consciousness. Then after that, a lot of life-continuum follow. At the end of, At the end of, actually I will change later. So at the end of stream of bhavanga, active mind process happened, starting from adverting consciousness up to retentive, dharamana. So as you know that in this lifetime, firstly, rebirth-linking consciousness, take place. Then after that, after rebirth-linking consciousness, we have about 50 or 60 bhavanga arises. Then after that, advaring consciousness. Advaring consciousness, that is a mind advaring consciousness. Then after that, javana. Javana means, according to Abhidhamma, a javana is at the time is a lobha citta. One type of consciousness rooted in greed. Because of lobha, because of attachment in the life, so we have a one life, right? So therefore, we have a rebirth-linking consciousness, and after that, a stream of bhavanga. After about 50 or 60 bhavanga, so we have a mind door advaring consciousness. So that is advaring consciousness. Then after that, javana. Javana. Think about it. It is in the mother's womb, right? So we do not see anything. So that is just the mental process, only in the mind, right? So therefore, after stream of bhavanga, the mind or advaring consciousness, then after that, javana. Then after that, retention, right? Retentive. So at the end of the day, one life must enter with the death. So the last type of consciousness is called death consciousness, right? So because of that consciousness, we end one life. So therefore, so when we look at 40 functions of the mind, it's clear that it is arranged according to the mind process, sequence of the mind process, happen in one lifetime, right? One lifetime. So this session will analyze 89 type of cittas based on the 40 functions, right? 40 functions. So the first one is a rebirth-linking consciousness. Rebirth-linking function. So that is one of the functions of the mind. So rebirth-linking is so called because it links the new existence, new life, to the previous one. Because the rebirth-linking consciousness is the first consciousness arises in this life, right? It links this life and previous one. Actually, it is a metaphor. It is a metaphor. It's not literal meaning, right? Not literal meaning. Actually, one mind moment arises and cease. Then only after cessation of one mind moment, another mind moment can arise. So therefore, it is just a metaphor, right? Metaphor. Actually, this consciousness does not link anything. Then that consciousness in previous life stop. Then rebirth-linking consciousness arises in this life, right? So therefore, it look like it linked to life, right? Actually, it is not. Just a metaphor. So, rebirth-linking consciousness is so called because it links one life, this life, and previous life, right? It occurs only once at the moment of conception. So, it arises only once. So 90 cittas perform the function of rebirth-linking. So among the 89, so we have a 90 cittas that function as a rebirth-linking. So later we will learn one by one, right? One by in detail. Number 2, life-continuum. What is life-continuum? Any question regarding with the rebirth-linking consciousness? Rebirth-linking function? No question, huh? Okay. Then second one, life-continuum. So the word bhavanga means a crucial factor or crucial part of life. So bhavanga are very important. So when I'm talking, so there are a lot of active mind process. So between those active mind process, so there are a lot of bhavanga, right? A lot of bhavanga. So as I always said that when we are sleeping, we have a lot of bhavanga, right? Even there are a lot of noise outside, you do not hear, right? So your bhavanga, your state of mind at the time, does not have any connection with outside objects, right? So therefore, so those life-continuum consciousness are very important. So it is a crucial factor of life. So therefore, it is called bhavanga cheda. Bhava is a life, anga means a crucial factor, a crucial part. Life continuum functions the continuity of consciousness or a person from conception to death. So as I said that, so in one lifetime, in this life, we have a rebirth-linking consciousness, right? Then after that, a lot of bhavanga. Then after that, active mind process. And during, how to say after active mind process, there are a lot of bhavanga again. Then after that, active mind process. So later, I will show you the chart, right? So it will be clear for you. So therefore, so that like continuum bhavanga functions the continuity of consciousness from conception to death. Since you take rebirth up to you die, right? Up to your death. 90 rebirth-linking consciousness cittas, 90 rebirth-linking cittas perform the function of like continuum. Actually, we have only one cittas, one type of citta perform as a rebirth-linking consciousness, right? Suppose your rebirth-linking consciousness is a one consciousness accompanied by joy, associated with the knowledge, unprompted, right? If your rebirth consciousness is a such a one, right? Accompanied by joy, right? So you will be a joyful type, right? Joyful type. Some people were born with the equanimity, right? So they are very not joyful one, not joke. How to say that? Not cheerful person, right? Some people are cheerful people because of their rebirth-linking consciousness, right? But some are very intelligent. So that means associated with the knowledge, right? You were born, your rebirth-linking consciousness is associated with the knowledge. So therefore you are intelligent. Some are very intelligent, some are not, right? Some are intelligent, but not very intelligent. So we also have a degrees of our knowledge as well, right? The unprompted. Some people do something with the full of motivation or full of willingness, right? Full of effort. Unprompted, right? So therefore, if our rebirth-linking consciousness is the first type of resident citta, right? The first type of one consciousness accompanied by joy and associated with the knowledge unprompted, right? So if our rebirth-linking consciousness is such a one, then our bhavanga also the same thing. Our bhavanga also the same thing, right? So therefore, 80 rebirth-linking cittas perform the function of like continuum. The same thing, right? If you are rebirth-linking citta is not good, your life-continuum also not good, right? So therefore, some people were born with the knowledge and with the wisdom. So the whole life, right? They are intelligent. Some are not intelligent because their rebirth-linking is not good, right? Not good. Based on that one. So all these one, the rebirth-linking citta and life-continuum cittas. So all these are resultant citta. Because of good and bad deed, right? We have all these result. So later we will have to learn in detail. Then go to 14, right? So we will skip the rest. Go to 14, death. Death function. Death consciousness is the last citta that occurs in one life. It performs the function of passing away. Actually, it's quite clear. No need to write, right? As a note, I write down. And no need to write down. It's clear. So it functions. It performs the function of passing away, right? In other words, we can call it. This is the last citta occurs in this lifetime, right? In this lifetime. 90 rebirth-linking consciousness and life-continuum cittas perform function of death. If we were born with the associated with the knowledge or associated with the wisdom in this life, and our death consciousness also will be the same. In other words, so these three are the same, right? So it will be one of the 90, right? One of the 90 cittas. One of the 90 citta. So therefore, rebirth, linking, life-continuum, and death, they are the same. So they are passive flows of consciousness. It's called the process free. Witty mode. So actually, the process free citta will be learned in the 5th chapter. As I said, that they do not have any connection with any other active cognitive process. So while you are sleeping in deep sleep, right? Even though somebody is shouting at you nearby, you do not hear, right? Because you have a bhavanga at the time. So your bhavanga, your consciousness, doesn't have any connection with the outside object, right? So therefore, they are called the process free. Witty mode. They are outside of active cognitive process, outside of witty, right? Rebirth-linking citta becomes a life. Life-continuum cittas makes continuity of that life. And death cittas end one life, right? So these three are called process free. So they have any connection with the active mind process, right? Active mind process. 90 citta perform function of rebirth-linking, life-continuum, and death. Number 1, 2 types of investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. So as you know, we have a 3 types of investigating consciousness, right? We have a 3 types of investigation consciousness. 1 type because of unwholesome deed, 2 type because of wholesome deed, right? But here, so only 2 types of investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity, not accompanied by joy, right? Only 2. So these 2 functions, these 2 perform the function of rebirth-linking, life-continuum, and death. So actually we have a 90. So among these 2, investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. So if we investigate, right? If we investigate unpleasant things, so that is because of our deed, right? If we investigate pleasant things, because of good deed, right? So in that case, its function is investigating, right? Investigating. Here, the function is rebirth-linking. It link to life, and also it make continuity of consciousness, and also it perform the function of death. So in other words, we can say that these two, investigating consciousness, not only investigating function, but also they have function of these three as well. So up to now, we can know that two type of investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity has four functions. Number one, investigating function. Later we will have to learn, right? Number two, rebirth-linking function, like continuous function, death function, four function, right? So in this way, we are analyzing cittas in terms of their functions, right? Actually, it is really, if you don't have a concentration, I think it's a bit difficult to remember, right? So up to now, please pay attention to this one. So two type of investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity have a four function up to now, right? Up to now, investigating function, like rebirth-linking function, like continuous function, and death function, right? Among the two, investigating consciousness that caused because of unwholesome deed. So that is a rebirth consciousness in the four woeful plane. Four woeful plane. If somebody has a rebirth in hell, animal realm, and ghost realm, and asura, right? Asura realm. So because of unwholesome deed, right? Another one, investigating consciousness because of good deed. So that is a rebirth consciousness of the people in human realm. Those human realm as well as the deva in the first heavenly realm, Chatumarajiga. I think you will see some people are handicapped. Not only handicapped, the main reason is not only handicapped, they do not know even right and wrong. They do what they wish, right? And you will see some people, even though they have a lack of intelligence, no intelligence at all, right? So if their parents tell not to do this, they remember only one time, only a few times, right? Then later they do again. So even though they teach, even though they learn a lot, they do not understand because they don't have a lack of wisdom, right? Lack of wisdom. So actually, we can find in our surrounding, right? Those who do not have a proper understanding, proper wisdom or knowledge, right? For those who cannot hear, right? Cannot see. Not only that, they don't have they don't have a wisdom, right? Those people, their rebirth-linking consciousness is investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity because of wholesome deed. They have done something good in previous life, right? And also their result is not good, right? So they have done something good deed in previous life, in previous lives, right? Not only one life. And also they have done unwholesome deeds as well, right? So their unwholesome deed is much more than wholesome one. So because of that, they will have a rebirth-linking consciousness because of investigating consciousness, right? Accompanied by equanimity. Another one, 8 great resultants. 8 great resultant consciousness. So as you know, so these 8 are among the 24 sin-sphere beautiful cittas, right? Among the 24 sin-sphere beautiful citta, we have 8 wholesome one, and we have 8 resident and 8 functioning, right? As I said that rebirth-linking, life-continuum, death, all these are resident because of wholesome and unwholesome deed, right? They are reset, so therefore they are resultants. So as you know, among the 8 great resultants, so we have 4 citta associated with the knowledge, and 4 citta dissociated from knowledge. Right? Some people were born with the citta dissociated from knowledge. Right? Actually, they are not intelligent. Some people who was born with the citta associated with the knowledge, they are intelligent, right? Some people are jovial. Yeah. Some people are jovious because of their rebellion consciousness is accompanied by joy, right? So like this. So we have to go in this way. 8 great resultants. 8 great resultants, right? Then 9 fine material sphere and immaterial sphere resultants. So as you know, we have a 5 fine material sphere resultant and 4 immaterial sphere resultants, right? So these are rebirth-linking consciousness in the Brahma realm, right? So you die and you was born in the Brahma realm, right? So that will be among the 9. One of them, right? One of them. So these 90 cittas function a rebirth-linking consciousness, rebirth-linking function in this life. Then after rebirth-linking function, so there will be bhavanga, like continue, right? Then after that you die. So this is a, you can look at this one, right? Circular life. Okay, question? Microphone? I think we should have 2 microphones. Oh yeah, maybe one here.
Bhante, I don't understand about this rebirth consciousness, life continuum, death consciousness in relations in relations to self.
Sorry?
There's no self, right? Buddhism teaches us we have no self, no soul. Then here you talk about rebirth consciousness, death consciousness, this cycle. What is flowing? Is it self that is flowing? Is it the soul that is flowing? What is flowing? Consciousness? Is it self? Is it soul? Or what is it?
Okay, I understand your question. Okay. Actually, it is not a soul or self. So to talk about it, and we have to understand the nature of self or soul. Actually, in other religions, other than Buddhism, most religions they believe soul, eternal soul, right? So according to them, there is a self or soul in their mind, in their body. And some people say outside of the body, so but mostly inside. They believe that there is a soul or self that does not die. It lasts forever until you go to heaven or until you attain liberation, right? That doesn't die. According to Buddhism, we don't believe that there's no self or soul that lasts forever. But this one, rebirth-linking consciousness, like continuance, are not like a soul. They arises and they die. In our life, this life, our first consciousness is like rebirth consciousness, right? Rebirth-linking consciousness. Then only one mind moment, then it dies. Then after that, like continuum, right? Like continuum. Even that like continuum also die. Another like continuum. And that like continuum also die. Another like continuum. So like this, arises and passing away, arises, passing away. That is the nature of the mind. Actually, not only people in other religions, in Buddhism also, many people believe theory of soul, right? So they always, because we like continuity, right? We don't like dying or cessation. So therefore, we have a, in one way or another, we have a, how to say that, attachment to continuity, right? Continuity. But yeah, what we are talking is a, later I think I will better show. Suppose rebirth-linking consciousness arises, right, in this life. Then after that is stop. Then after that, like continuum arise. So this like continuum also will stop. Another like continuum will come into existence, right? So like that, one after another, one mind moment stop, another mind moment arise, right? Continuity, the cycle of life like this, not like a soul or self. So therefore, when we look at the nature of the body nowadays, it is quite clear for the scientists. Actually, every cell in our body is dying, moment by moment, right? So just like that, our mind also dying moment by moment. But we don't have a powerful concentrations. For that reason, we do not know that nature, right? We meditate, we try to develop concentrations, powerful concentrations. The reason is to see that nature, the nature of impermanence, right? The nature of impermanence. Not only our body, not only the matter, but also the mind arises and passing away. Another moment arises and passing away. So if we know the nature of impermanence, we have less attachment to our mind and to our body. So in this way, if we do not have attachment to our body and to our mind, we no longer have fear of death. We no longer have fear of separation from our deep beloved ones. So that is the nature of impermanence. Actually here, the consciousness is not like a self or soul, right? Self or soul. So therefore, the biggest difference from Buddhism and other religions is nothing but impermanence. So Buddhism do not believe self or soul. So in the sense that the Buddha always point out that everything, not only the body, but also the mind, right, arises. So if we have a very powerful concentration, we can see that nature. If you see that nature, and we can become Sotapanna, right? Sotapanna. So if we do not wear the glasses, we cannot see very clearly, right? Just like a concentration is just like a glasses. So only we wear the glasses, we can see the people very clearly. Otherwise, very blurred, right? Very blurred. So now our understanding is like this. So we don't have a powerful concentrations. So we do not see those nature, right? Those natures. So therefore, too much different. The most prominent difference between other religion, Buddhism, is Buddhism teaches that there's no self or soul. In Mahayana, they call it sunyata, right? Sunyata, emptiness. Emptiness is nothing but emptiness of soul, right? Any question? Okay, microphone. You can pass microphone to you.
Bhante, I want to ask a question to clarify. Because I attended one teacher, she explained that a student asked about sickness. So when we are ill, right, then usually Buddhism, we say, okay, we might have done something bad. Then we suffer like the pain in the body at a certain time. Then, but when this question is asked, then the teacher, she answered that the right answer is that for sickness, right, is how to see clearly is due to the rebirth linking consciousness, like more towards like the dependent origination, like when you rebirth, then there is a consciousness, then all this is subjected to like life, death, and sickness. So she say it's not like so generally speaking, you do something bad, then you have the sickness. But technically, she say it's more to the rebirth linking or something like that. But I cannot understand this thought because when we have life, right, like now everything is continuing. So we still sometimes we do good and bad, and then the sickness still on and off we have, ma. So cannot be just during that one moment everything brought over the. So can you explain your understanding? Thank you.
The question, I'm so sorry that. Can you tell me the main point in your question?
My main point is that I'm confused why the teacher say that sickness, all this is more clearly understood by like rebirth linking consciousness, all that, and not so much on good and bad what we did. Actually, we asked her to explain, but she got no time, then she didn't. So, but this one I cannot understand.
Okay. I think that we have a sickness, of course, because of unwholesome action, right? You do not take care of your head, right? And you do not take medicine. That is unwholesome deed, unwholesome action, right? That's another part. Another one, I think that teacher might want to explain the nature of impermanence. Because in Samyutta Nikaya and Vedana Sanyutta, so in that sutta, when the Buddha approached the monks who is critically ill, and he teach the monks, every feeling, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, arises because you have a body. Because you have a body and you have a feeling, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. So all these feelings are subject to impermanence. They will, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, they will stop or they will cease. So I think your teacher want to highlight this point, I think. Because even though we have a sickness, right? So that sickness also are subject to change, right? If you take care of yourself, if you take medicine, right? So I think your teacher want to highlight that point. So sorry that I do not know what she want to say. So, okay, any question?
Bhante, I have a question.
Oh, okay.
It seems to me that there are many factors at play when one is on our deathbed.
Sorry?
it seems to me that there are many factors at play when one is dying on our deathbed and when we transit over. There are many factors. For instance, there is the last thought moment. So I'm now trying to bring in the last thought moment into what we have just learned. Right. So my understanding is that the last thought moment will determine your next destination. Whether you were born in a human realm or in woeful plane, right? Or whether you get born in a rich family, right? So that is correct, I suppose, right? So then the consciousness that we have just learnt, the rebirth-linking consciousness, which actually flows from our bhavanga, which is our nature, right? So assuming, as an example, let's say I'm a very happy person, I'm very joyly by nature, but I have a bad last thought moment, right? So maybe I get reborn as a dog. A dog, D-O-G.
You mean in this life, you will bad thought, the last thought moment?
Yes. When I'm dying, I'm a very happy person by nature,
Okay.
but I don't have a good last thought moment. I have a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of regret, right, of all the bad things I've done, even though I'm a joyly person by nature. So then I get reborn as a dog, right?
Next life.
Next life, yes. But I will be a happy dog, right? Because my consciousness flows.
No. There's only one lifetime. So, in this life, suppose you visualize, you think about your life. In this life, the first mind moment is a rebirth-linking consciousness, right? You were born accompanied by joy, right? So you are joyful person, joyful person in this life. So the whole life until you die. But the moment you die, the last thought, how to say that the last thought moment, you take how to say very bad object, right? Then because of that, the last thought moment, you have another rebirth-linking consciousness, another life. So that rebirth-linking consciousness, nothing to do with this one. So this is a rebirth-linking consciousness, life-continuum, death consciousness. These are only the same in one lifetime, right?
That's why you keep stressing in one life just now.
Yeah, one lifetime. But based on the last thought moment, another life where you have another quality of the mind. Right? Different mind. Okay?
I have another. Okay. But you know, some people, they are born joyly, or they are born intelligent, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be? So you're saying that? So it is that. Okay. So whether they are born intelligent depends on that last thought moment.
Yeah.
The consciousness of that last thought moment.
Yeah.
And the destination...
Because the last thought moment is a javana. It can be wholesome or unwholesome, right? So if the last thought moment is wholesome, so as a result of that, so you are rebirth-linking conscious in this life. So this is a reset, right? So the last thought moment is wholesome kusala or unwholesome akusala. It depends on kusala and akusala, then you have a vipaka, reset in this life, right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that means the last thought moment is really so important.
Actually, I very often stress the importance of understanding. Actually, people here, not only here, most of the Buddhists, they worry about the last thought moment. So when you have such type of worry, it's not good. It's not good. As you know, the worry is the akusala mental state, right? Akusala mental state. Therefore, the Buddha point out to Mahanama, his cousin, Mahanama. Actually, Mahanama came to the monasteries and taught to the Buddha. Bhante, I met a stray elephant on the way. Then I have to run away, right? Then I thought that if I die, if the stray elephant kill me, I dare not think my rebirth in this life. And the Buddha said that, Mahanama, you have done a lot of good deed. Don't worry about your next life rebirth consciousness. The Buddha gave a very good example. If we then we bring a pot of ghee into the deep water, then we break the pot, and the pot will stay under the water. The ghee will come out. Just like that, even you are killed by wild animals, no need to worry. You have done a lot of good deed. So I think we don't need to afraid of the last moment. If we fear, just like, so when we are walking on the way, normal path, no fear, right? If you are walking in a very high place, in the narrow place, right? So you have a fear to fall down. So just like that, I think we shouldn't afraid of the last moment. Because of course the last moment is very important. So many Buddhist teachers also point out the importance of the last moment. It is also logical, right? It's also logical. But if we have done a lot of good deed in this lifetime, no need to worry about the last moment, right? So therefore, instead of worrying about the last moment, just do good deed. So if you have done a lot of good deed, no need to worry, right? Here again, if you have done a lot of unwholesome deed, no need to worry again. Forget about them, right? Forget about them and do good things from now onward, right? That's very important, I think. So here I think I have to, time is going to, so I have to highlight this one. So this is a circular life. We start up with the rebirth consciousness and we finish with the death consciousness. So between rebirth consciousness and death consciousness, there will be a lot of life-continuum. There will be a lot of bhavanga. In one lifetime, only in one lifetime, so these three functions will be the same. So we have 90 cittas, right? 90 cittas. So if we was born with the intelligent life-continuum consciousness, the whole life, our bhavanga also will be intelligent, right? If you were born accompanied by joy, the whole life, your nature will be joyous person, right? Joyous person. So this is only one lifetime, they are the same, right? And important that there is only one consciousness, right? So only one consciousness. Even though we have 90 cittas, not all, right? Only one consciousness will be our rebirth-linking consciousness. Then after that, the same consciousness will be our bhavanga. The same consciousness will be our cuti citta, right? Our death consciousness. But now if we die in this life, next life, there will be the different one, right? The different one. Okay, the last question. If you have any question, okay.
I came across the video on Book of the Dead, which is practiced by most Tibetans, and they believe that after death, within 49 days, for them to leave for rebirth. So, in terms of consciousness, is it because of our linking attachment at death that we cannot go to the next rebirth stage? That's why the Tibetan monks are called in to do some chanting to guide the death, how to liberate. What is your views on this?
How to go to the...
Yes.
I think it's a very controversial issue. If we say according to traditional Abhidhamma, I will say that according to Abhidhamma, according to Abhidhamma in Theravada, we believe that if you die right now, right away, you will have a new rebirth, right? Suppose you die right now in Mangala Vihara, right? Then you have another rebirth as a ghost. It's a different life, right? Different life. That is according to Abhidhamma, right? According to Abhidhamma. And we also, even the Suttas, we have a different, different occasions. Some Sutta support the idea that if we die right now, right away, another life, we will take rebirth in another life, right? In some Suttas, so we have a one of the Sutta that talk about non-returner, right? Non-returner. But actually, I forgot the number of non-returner. Actually, among them, some people became arahant before they take rebirth in one plane or one existence, halfway in between. Suppose somebody died as a non-returner, right, in this life. Then he's going to rebirth, going to take rebirth. Not non-returner. So some people die this life. Oh, suppose somebody died this life, and because of his jhana consciousness, he is going to have a rebirth in Brahma realm. So before he take rebirth in the Brahma realm, halfway on the way, in between two life, became non-returner. So that means some Sutta, it might support the idea of in between, right? Just like a Tibetan monks and Chinese tradition also believe 49, right? So according to those Sutta, might be there are some light in between, right? So it's also maybe possible, but I think according to Theravada tradition, we don't believe so. So we believe that if you die right now, then take a rebirth right away. There's no anything in between, right? So when after death consciousness and rebirth-linking consciousness take place right away. So I think in the 5th chapter I will talk about it. Then I will show with the chart, right? So anyway, whether we don't have the light in between or not, right? We do not know. What we can do is do the good things in this life, right? That's main things, I think. Okay, so I think time is up. Any Teacher Lily, you have an announcement? No. Okay, so let's close. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakya moni bhagavakata kecho paragato bala viriya samangi Saranatamu pemi raga viraga maninjama soka Dhamma ma sangha dhamma patikulan Madhura mimamba gunan suvipatan Dhamma mimam saranatamupe Yata chade nama hapalamahu Chatusu susisu purisa yugesu Atacha bogala dhammadasade Sangami mansaranatamupe Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you.